Today we'll be looking at the poem Life and Death by Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo, the mystic saint of Indian literature, infused his works with his unique philosophical perspectives. He was a multifaceted visionary who excelled as a national leader, a spiritual reformer, and a poet par excellence. His poetic vision is imbued with insights drawn from his spiritual quest, and therefore they contain deep mystical perceptions that link human experience with divine guidance. His major works include Essays on the Gita, that was published in 1922, The Life Divine, that was published in 1939, and this was a philosophical prose work that contained many of Aurobindo's spiritual ideas. Collected Poems and Plays, that was published in 1942, The Synthesis of Yoga in 1948, The Human Cycle in 1949, The Ideal of Human Unity, again in 1949, and Savitri in 1950. Savitri is generally considered to be Aurobindo's magnum opus, and it is an epic poem in blank verse. Now let's take a look at the poem Life and Death. Life, death, death, life. The words have led for ages our thought and consciousness, and firmly seemed two opposites. But now long hidden pages are opened, liberating truths undreamed. Life only is, or death is life disguised. Life, a short death, until by life we are surprised. Though the poem is fairly short, it contains profound insight into the nature of human reality. The poet begins by declaring that life and death are the two words that have molded human perception and consciousness from time immemorial. Human actions are governed by these two words. In fact, one can even argue that human beings are fixated on these two notions. We believe that life leads to death, and that is the natural progression one finds on earth. We live, we die. These are the two binaries that have shaped the manifold ways in which humans act and think. We have always believed that these two notions are polar opposites and have never thought about looking beyond these binaries. Death has a finality that has added to the dread with which humans perceive it. We are scared of death. Why? Because it is the end of life, and by association, our dreams and aspirations. Humans view it with fear and think of it as the final end, beyond which lies the unknown. And the fear of the unknown increases the terror of this phenomenon. So after establishing how crucial these two binaries are to human existence, the poet then says, but now long hidden pages are opened, liberating truths undreamed. So now there is a revelation of a long hidden truth. The poet emphasizes that the secret truth has been revealed, and you have to remember that this revelation is not new. It has been hidden for a long time. He says, but now long hidden pages are opened. Okay, he doesn't say that the pages just came into existence. The pages have been hidden for a very long time. Humans have never understood the secret. It is also possible that humans never knew about this truth. And what is this truth? It is no mere truth. This truth has liberating power. Power to liberate the human soul. And before this glorious revelation, nobody had even dreamed of its liberating potential. The poet is suggesting that It can widen the horizon of human existence. It can change the ways in which we think. And then the poet makes the grand revelation. Life and death are not binaries as we thought. Instead, they're two sides of the same coin. Death is the natural extension of life, and it is by no means an abrupt cessation of life. He refers to death as life disguised and asserts the fact that death is only a continuation of life. We shouldn't think of it as the end. The poet then makes an even more dramatic revelation when he says that life is actually a short death and we start living only when we die. What is the poet referring to? He is talking about the immortal life opened by the portals of death and considers it to be the actual life as opposed to the transient mortal life on earth. The poem's conclusion thoroughly revises our notions of life and death as it offers a novel perspective on how we perceive death. Earlier, we defined death in terms of life. Death is that which puts an end to life. Now, the poet urges us to define life in terms of death. Mortal life is just a short prelude to the immortal life offered by death. Therefore, life is a short death, and it is only after this short death that we gain access to the realm of immortality. The poet is thus presenting a contrast between the short, fleeting, mortal life and the immortal life in the realm of eternity. Humans who are too attached to earthly life and mortal possessions view death as a threat that will snatch them away from the pleasures of life. They try to cling to life in the vain hope that it can be prolonged forever. The poem exhorts humans to give up such trepidations and to accept death calmly, as it is not a sudden end, it is just a continuation. I hope all of you understood the poem. So that's all for now. Thank you.